Your body, the ultimate high-performance machine. Picture this. You're driving a shiny high-performance sports car. Your body, your ultimate ride. It's sleek, it's powerful, but here's the kicker. You're pumping it with the wrong fuel, ignoring the check engine light and flooring it through potholes like you're in a Hollywood chase scene. You wouldn't treat a Ferrari like that. So, why do we so often treat our irreplaceable bodies with such reckless abandon? We get one vehicle for this journey of life, and it's designed for peak performance, not for a demolition derby. It's time we learned the owner's manual, don't you think? Screech. That's the sound of your health hitting the brakes, my friend. We're not talking about a minor dent or a scratched paint job here. We're talking about the potential for a full-on system breakdown if we consistently ignore the warning signs. It's so easy to get swept up in the relentless current of daily life, pushing that accelerator to the floor without a moment's consideration for the complex, finely tuned machinery working tirelessly, day and night, just beneath the surface. We promise ourselves we'll get that oil change later, but later often comes with a much higher price tag. Today, we're diving deep under the hood to inspect the common health mistakes we all make, those seemingly small missteps that gradually, insidiously, turn our dream machine into a sputtering clunker, destined for an early retirement in the junkyard of what-ifs and if-onlys. Buckle up, because this journey is going to be wild, witty, and absolutely packed with those crucial aha moments that can shift your perspective and get your engine purring like new. We're going to identify the gremlins in the system and show you how to evict them for good. Alright, let's kick things off with the one thing we all crave but so often sacrifice on the altar of just one more episode or one more email. I'm talking about sleep, or more accurately, the chronic lack of it. We treat it like it's an optional extra, a luxury item we can do without when the going gets tough. But let me tell you, cutting corners on sleep is like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach while juggling flaming torches. Something's gonna give, and it won't be pretty. You know the drill. You're burning the midnight oil, your face illuminated by the pale glow of your screen, endlessly scrolling through the digital abyss of X. Or maybe you're 5 episodes deep into that new series that everyone's talking about, convincing yourself that sleep is for the weak. You tell yourself, I'll catch up on the weekend, but that's like saying you'll only eat vegetables on holidays and expect to be the picture of health. It just doesn't work that way, my friends. The truth is, sleep isn't just a passive state of unconsciousness, a mere biological pause button we hit at the end of the day. Oh no, it's far more critical than that. Think of it as your body's essential nightly pit stop. The dedicated time when the highly skilled mechanics in your system get to work, repairing, restoring, and recalibrating everything for the day ahead. It's when the real magic happens, the behind-the-scenes work that keeps you running smoothly. Imagine your brain for a moment as a bustling high-end restaurant kitchen, a place where gourmet thoughts, brilliant ideas, and complex decisions are whipped up all day long. It's a hive of activity with chefs, your neurons, working at full tilt. Now when nighttime rolls around, that kitchen needs a deep clean. The counters need to be wiped down, the greasy pans scrubbed clean, the floors mopped, and all the spices and ingredients meticulously restocked for the next service. If you consistently skimp on sleep, you're essentially telling the night crew to take the night off, or maybe just do a quick shoddy job. You're leaving dirty dishes piled high in the sink, old food festering on the prep surfaces, and the pantry in a state of utter chaos. This, in turn, drastically slows down your mental chef the next day, making it harder to cook up those brilliant ideas or even follow a simple recipe for success. Your cognitive function takes a nosedive. The science on this is crystal clear and, frankly, a little terrifying. Study after study has shown that consistently getting less than the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night throws a massive wrench in the works. Your ability to focus and concentrate plummets, making you feel like you're trying to navigate through a thick fog. That important presentation, that complex problem at work, good luck tackling those with a sleep-deprived brain, and it's not just your focus that suffers. Oh no, the ripple effects are far-reaching. Sleep deprivation sends your stress hormones, particularly cortisol, skyrocketing. Suddenly, every little annoyance feels like a major catastrophe. You become more irritable, more reactive, and less resilient to the everyday pressures of life. It's like your internal alarm system is stuck on high alert, constantly scanning for threats that aren't even there. Then, there's the impact on your appetite and cravings. When you're sleep deprived, your body's an absolute mess of hormonal imbalance. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, goes into overdrive, while leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, takes a nosedive. The result? You're ravenous, and not for a crisp apple or a sensible salad. No, your brain starts screaming for high-calorie, sugary, fatty junk food. It's almost as if your body, in its desperate attempt to find some quick energy to compensate for the lack of rest, starts auditioning for a starring role as a sentient vending machine, dispensing chips, chocolate, and sugary sodas at an alarming rate. You find yourself reaching for that donut, not because you're truly hungry, but because your sleep-starved brain is tricking you into thinking it's the fuel you need. It's a vicious cycle. This isn't just about feeling a bit tired or groggy the next day. We're talking about a cumulative sleep debt that builds up over time, chipping away at your physical health, your mental acuity, and your overall quality of life. It's like making tiny withdrawals from your health bank account every night without making any deposits. Sooner or later, that account is going to be overdrawn, and the bank, my friends, always collects. So, what's the solution? It's not about suddenly becoming a sleep saint overnight. It's about recognizing sleep for the vital, non-negotiable pillar of health that it is. Start by making small, incremental changes. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Dim the lights. Put away the screens at least an hour before bed. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for sleep, cool, dark, and quiet. Treat your bedtime with the same respect you'd give an important appointment, because that's precisely what it is. An appointment with restoration and rejuvenation. Prioritizing sleep isn't selfish. It's a fundamental act of self-care that underpins everything else. It's the solid foundation upon which you can build a healthier, happier, and more productive life. Don't let it be the first thing you sacrifice. Think of it this way. If your high-performance sports car needed a specific type of high-octane fuel to run optimally, you wouldn't dream of filling it with cheap diluted gas, would you? Sleep is that premium fuel for your brain and body. Give yourself the quality and quantity you need and watch how much better every other aspect of your life starts to run. It's a game changer, truly. Now, let's talk about fueling this incredible machine of yours. You wouldn't expect a Formula One car to win a race running on cheap cooking oil, would you? Yet, so many of us are essentially doing just that with our bodies, day in and day out. We're constantly eating like we're on a permanent vacation at a theme park, where every meal is an excuse for a deep-fried indulgence or a sugar-laden monstrosity. You know the vibe I'm talking about. You're rushing, you're stressed, so you grab that greasy processed burger from the nearest fast food joint, chase it down with a soda that's roughly the size of a small bucket, and then you pat yourself on the back and call it lunch. Or maybe it's the endless parade of sugary cereals for breakfast, processed snacks throughout the day, and a dinner that came out of a box or a plastic tray. This kind of eating pattern is like systematically, deliberately pouring syrup, sand, and maybe even a few sprinkles directly into the engine of your high-performance sports car. Sure, it might sputter along for a little while, lurching and coughing, but eventually, inevitably, it's going to grind to a screeching halt, leaving you stranded on the side of the health highway. It's a recipe for disaster, plain and simple. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was a bright, ambitious 30-something office worker, caught in the typical whirlwind of deadlines, meetings, and a demanding social life. Her diet? It consisted primarily of takeout meals delivered to her desk, a steady stream of energy drinks to power through the afternoon slump, and whatever quick, convenient snacks she could grab on the go. She rarely saw a fresh vegetable unless it was a lonely piece of lettuce on her burger. Unsurprisingly, Sarah felt like a sloth permanently stuck in a vat of molasses. She was constantly tired, perpetually bloated, and her mood swings were legendary among her colleagues, mostly veering towards the cranky end of the spectrum. She chalked it up to stress and a busy lifestyle, never really connecting the dots back to what she was putting into her body 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day. Then, one day, after a particularly unflattering photo and a stern chat with her reflection, she decided to make a small change. Just one. She committed to swapping one of her daily takeout meals, usually her lunch, for a large, colorful salad packed with fresh greens, vibrant vegetables, and a good serving of lean protein like grilled chicken or chickpeas. No fancy diet, no complicated rules, just one simple swap. The transformation was, in her words, like someone finally turned the lights on. Within a couple of weeks, her energy levels started to bounce back. The afternoon slumps became less frequent, then disappeared altogether. Her mood lifted, she felt less irritable, and as an unexpected bonus, her skin, which had been dull and prone to breakouts, started to glow like she'd been secretly photoshopped by a magazine editor. Sarah's story isn't unique, it's a testament to the incredible power of real whole foods, and the science wholeheartedly backs this up. Nutrient-dense foods? Think vibrant fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats from nuts and avocados, and whole grains are like the premium-grade fuel your body's crying out for. They provide a steady, sustained release of energy, keeping your blood sugar levels stable and preventing those wild energy crashes. When your blood sugar is on a roller coaster because you're mainlining sugar and refined carbohydrates, your energy levels, your mood, and even your cognitive function go along for that bumpy ride. One minute you're wired, the next you're crashing hard, desperately seeking another quick fix. It's a cycle that drains your vitality and leaves your engine sputtering and misfiring. Processed foods, on the other hand, are often stripped of their natural nutrients and loaded with artificial additives, unhealthy fats, excessive salt, and refined sugars. They're designed to be hyper-palatable, to trick your brain into wanting more and more, but they offer very little in terms of actual nourishment. It's like filling your car with watered-down fuel that's full of impurities. It clogs the system and reduces performance. And let's not forget the importance of those often neglected veggies. They are the unsung heroes of a healthy diet. packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. Fiber, my friends, is crucial for digestive health, for keeping you feeling full and satisfied, and for helping to regulate blood sugar. Skipping your veggies is like forgetting to put oil in your engine. Things are going to get gummed up pretty quickly. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small, like Sarah did. Maybe it's adding an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner, or swapping that sugary soda for water, or choosing whole grain bread instead of white. Each small positive change is a deposit into your health bank account, building a reserve of vitality. Think of your plate as a canvas. Are you painting a masterpiece of vibrant colors and textures, reflecting a diverse range of nutrients, or is it a monotone landscape of beige and brown, indicative of a diet lacking in variety and vitality? The choice, ultimately, is yours. But remember, the fuel you choose directly impacts the performance and longevity of your incredible human machine. So challenge yourself to become more mindful of what you're consuming. Read labels, ask questions, experiment with new healthy recipes. Discover the joy of food that not only tastes good, but also makes you feel fantastic. Fuel your body with intention, and it will reward you with energy, clarity, and a resilience you might have forgotten was possible. Your engine will thank you by purring smoothly for years to come. Chapter 3. Treating exercise like an optional side quest you can always skip. Alright team, we've talked about sleep, we've talked about fuel, now let's get into motion, or perhaps the distinct lack thereof. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Your magnificent human body isn't some kind of couch potato's ultimate dream machine, meticulously designed for a life of sedentary bliss. No sir, it's an incredible dynamic piece of engineering, built to move, to stretch, to lift, to run, to explore. Skipping regular exercise or treating it like some optional side quest in the grand video game of life that you can just ignore without any real consequences, is like owning that gleaming high-performance sports car we keep talking about, and then letting it just sit there, gathering dust and rust in the garage week after week, month after month. What a tragic waste of potential, right? Now when I say exercise, I can already see some of you mentally picturing those super intense gym bros, the ones grunting and groaning as they lift weights that look like they're auditioning for a role in the next superhero blockbuster. Or maybe you imagine punishing hour-long treadmill sessions that feel more like a medieval torture device than a health-boosting activity. Let me stop you right there. That's not necessarily what we're aiming for, especially if you're just starting out, or if the very thought of a gym makes you want to run for the hills, in the opposite direction of exercise, ironically. The truth is, you don't need to transform into a hardcore fitness fanatic overnight to reap the incredible benefits of movement. It's about finding what works for and making it a consistent part of your life. Even something as simple and accessible as a brisk, 20-minute walk each day can have a profound impact on your health. Don't believe me? The health statistics are pretty compelling. Regular walking can slash your risk of heart disease by up to a staggering 30%. It can help manage your weight, lower your blood pressure, improve your mood, and even boost your brain function. All that from just putting one foot in front of the other. Think of movement, any kind of movement, as the essential maintenance your body needs. It's like regularly oiling the joints of your sports car to keep them supple and prevent seizing up. It's like tuning the engine to ensure it runs efficiently and powerfully. Without this regular maintenance, things start to stiffen, to weaken, and to break down far sooner than they should. Let me tell you about my buddy Ahmed. For years, Ahmed's definition of exercise was the arduous journey from his couch to the fridge during commercial breaks, and maybe, on a particularly energetic day, a slow saunter to the mailbox. He was convinced he just wasn't an exercise person. He complained of constant aches, low energy, and breathlessness after even minor exertion. Then, after a bit of gentle, okay, maybe not so gentle, nudging from his doctor and his slightly exasperated wife, Ahmed decided to start small. He began with short 10-minute walks around his block. At first, it felt like a monumental effort, but he stuck with it. Gradually, those 10 minutes became 15, then 20. He started adding a few simple bodyweight squats while watching TV. Fast forward a few months and Ahmed is a changed man. He's now climbing flights of stairs without gasping for air like a fish unceremoniously yanked out of water. He has more energy, his mood is brighter, and those persistent aches and pains have significantly diminished. He even joined a local walking group and is, dare I say, enjoying it. He discovered that motion truly is lotion for the body and mind. The key is consistency, not necessarily intensity, especially in the beginning. Find activities you genuinely enjoy, or at least can tolerate, without utter misery. Maybe it's dancing in your living room like nobody's watching, taking up gardening, cycling through your neighborhood, trying a beginner's yoga class online, or even just taking the stairs instead of the elevator whenever possible. Every little bit counts. Our modern lifestyles, with all their conveniences, have inadvertently engineered movement out of our daily routines. We drive everywhere, we sit at desks for hours on end, we have groceries delivered, and we communicate through screens. But our bodies haven't caught up to this new sedentary reality. They still crave and require physical activity to function optimally. When you neglect exercise, you're not just missing out on stronger muscles or a trimmer waistline. You're increasing your risk for a whole host of chronic conditions. Type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer, osteoporosis, and mental health issues like depression and anxiety. Your sports car isn't just looking less shiny, its fundamental systems are being compromised. So I urge you, find ways to weave more movement into your day. Park further away from the store. Take a walk during your lunch break. Have walking meetings. Set a reminder to stand up and stretch every hour if you have a desk job. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. Your body isn't just a passive vehicle, it's an active participant in your life, and it thrives on being used. Remember, that sleek sports car was built for the open road, not to be a permanent fixture in the garage. Your body was built for movement, not for perpetual stillness. Unleash its potential, keep those parts well-oiled and tuned, and enjoy the incredible journey it can take you on. Keep it flowing, folks, because a body in motion tends to stay in motion, and a healthy motion leads to a healthier life. Chapter 4. Ignoring stress. Like it's just annoying background noise you can tune out. Last but certainly not least on our tour of common health blunders, let's tackle the invisible menace, the silent saboteur stress. Stress. It's like that incredibly annoying backseat driver who's constantly yelling contradictory directions, fiddling with the radio and complaining about your driving, all while you're desperately trying to navigate the chaotic highway of life. You might think, oh, I'm fine, just a little tense from work, or it's just a bit of pressure, everyone deals with it. We often try to downplay it, to tough it out, to pretend it's just some harmless background noise that we can simply tune out if we try hard enough. But let me be very clear. Chronic, unmanaged stress is far from harmless. It's a serious health hazard. Ignoring persistent stress is like revving your sports car's engine to the red line while it's stuck in neutral. You're burning an enormous amount of precious fuel, putting immense strain on all the internal components, generating a lot of noise and heat, but you're not actually going anywhere. You're just wearing yourself out, accelerating towards burnout without making any forward progress. Meet cortisol, often dubbed the stress hormone. When you're under pressure, your adrenal glands pump this stuff out. In short bursts for acute situations, like slamming the brakes to avoid an accident, cortisol is helpful, even life-saving. It sharpens your focus, mobilizes energy, and gets you ready for action. But when stress becomes chronic, when that fight or flight response is constantly activated, cortisol becomes a major problem. Prolonged exposure to high cortisol levels can wreak havoc on your entire system. It can mess with your sleep patterns, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. See Chapter 1, it's all connected. It can contribute to weight gain, particularly stubborn belly fat, by increasing cravings for unhealthy comfort foods and signaling your body to store fat. It can even weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to every bug going around. Picture your stress levels as a smartphone with about 50 different apps running simultaneously in the background, all while you're trying to make an important call. Each app is draining a little bit of your battery, slowing down your processing speed, and making the whole system sluggish and unresponsive. That's what chronic stress does to your mental and physical energy reserves. It's utterly exhausting. So many of us walk around with this constant low-grade hum of anxiety, this tension in our shoulders, this clenching in our jaw, and we've just accepted it as the new normal. But it's not normal, and it's certainly not healthy. It's like driving with the handbrake partially engaged. You can still move, but everything is harder, requires more effort, and causes unnecessary wear and tear on the vehicle. The good news is, just like you can close those unnecessary apps on your phone to save battery, you can actively manage and reduce your stress levels. It's not about eliminating stress entirely. That's probably unrealistic in the modern world. It's about developing healthy coping mechanisms and building resilience so that stress doesn't hijack your well-being. Techniques like meditation, even just for a few minutes a day, can make a world of difference. It's not about emptying your mind, good luck with that. It's about learning to observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them. Deep breathing exercises are another incredibly powerful and accessible tool. They activate your body's relaxation response, calming your nervous system almost instantly. Or how about something even simpler? A quick laugh with friends, spending time in nature, listening to music, engaging in a hobby you love. These aren't frivolous indulgences, they are essential stress busters. They are the pit stops where you can refuel your emotional tank and let some of that built-up pressure escape. Here's a simple trick you can try right now, or the next time you feel that wave of stress washing over you. Take 10 slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, imagine you're smelling a beautiful flower. As you exhale, imagine you're slowly, gently blowing out the candles on a giant birthday cake. Sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? But give it a shot. The science actually backs this up. This kind of diaphragmatic breathing can help lower your cortisol levels and reduce your heart rate in just a few minutes. It's a mini reset button for your nervous system and you can use it anytime, anywhere. No equipment needed, just your breath and a willingness to pause. Don't let stress be the uninvited passenger that dictates the direction of your health journey. Learn to recognize its signals, understand its impact, and take proactive steps to manage it effectively. Your shiny sports car deserves a calm, focused driver at the wheel, not one who's constantly rattled and overwhelmed. Take control of your dashboard, monitor those stress gauges, and keep your internal environment as serene as possible. Tune up your life, the final pit stop. So here we are, cruising along the highway of health, hopefully now more aware of the common potholes of bad habits that can send us careening off course. We've looked under the hood, identified some key areas where we often go wrong. But let's hit the brakes for a second and pull into one final crucial pit stop. This is where we consolidate what we've learned and get ready to hit the road with renewed vigor and a smarter game plan. Imagine a wise, experienced mechanic, let's call him Dr. Life, giving your amazing sports car, your body, a thorough once-over. He points to the fuel you're using, your diet, the state of your engine, your exercise habits or lack thereof, the quality of your oil, your sleep, the great restorer, and the readings on your dashboard, your stress levels. Fix these, he says with a knowing smile, and you'll be racing like an absolute champ, leaving those old clunker habits in the dust. But then he leans in close, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, and delivers the real mic drop moment, the biggest mistake of all, thinking you've got forever to tune this magnificent machine. Boom, that's the kicker, isn't it? Your body is the only ride you're guaranteed in this life, so treat it like the priceless, irreplaceable, high-performance marvel that it is. Skip the dangerous shortcuts, fuel it with premium ingredients, keep it moving smoothly, and don't let stress, that backseat driver, steer you off your chosen road to vitality. Now go out there and drive your health like you're starring in your own incredible blockbuster life.